the mic, Mr. Daniel J. Kennedy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I believe I'm not the funniest person on this show this evening. I can't believe I've had my thunder stolen by that Randolph Tempest.
He gives everyone a run for his money, I think.
I should never have passed on his telephone number to you, should I?
He was very, very amusing. But you know, actually, since I interviewed him about an hour ago, I feel like all my show has been is announcing that Daniel Kennedy's coming in.
Is that good?
I think I've mentioned it about 6 or 7 times.
To be honest, I should have done that because you had no one else to talk to. You had an interview and then no one to talk to for all evening. Because do you not normally chat to someone else on Thursday evening before me?
I usually do it. I think I forgot my local picks at 6 today, so that's naughty of me.
Why did you forget them?
I just forgot them. It was all the kind of the
excitement of talking to a thespian.
It was.
Goodness me. Did he do his thespian voice when he was on the radio?
He absolutely did, yes.
And do you think he was in his thespian garb whilst talking to you, or do you think he was just sat in his underpants scratching his armpits whilst he was talking to you?
He said he was in his car in Stockport, which sounded slightly sinister.
It does a little bit.
I'm quite a gullible person, and when the Olympics was all kicking off, it was when I started in my new job, when my boss would easily be able to pull the wool over my eyes with certain things he'd say, and he'd find it really funny because he'd overhear me telling other people thinking it was true.
And what kind of things did he tell you?
This is the one that relates to the Olympics. He overheard me telling someone that you could apply to go in the Paralympics if you were dyslexic. and as soon as I heard myself saying it, I looked over at him. I thought, I've been got again.
That's quite a good one, I have to say, don't you?
Do you think they've got an argument for it?
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly.
I'm short-sighted, so maybe Paralympic glory could be mine. Goodness me.
Very good. Do you know what tickled me when you were saying about the reporters going to the most horrendous places for
ridiculous.
The weather? We have the news on the hour, the national news, and there was a guy talking about the wind, and then they just did about 5 seconds of a wind effect.
Was he? Did they send radio reporters to the bits?
So I was
because you can't even see with a radio reporter. They might as well just be sat at home going, "Yeah, it's windy in London."
I was thinking they may as well just be blowing into the mic and creating wind noises there.
It'd be nice if they were, wouldn't it? Imagine if they were at the horse races and they were just doing cuddy clop with cups. That'd be amazing stuff, wouldn't it?
Like Monty Python.
I know. It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Man, I feel like...
I thought that was a very good choice.
It worked quite well. I've never quite understood man, I feel like a woman. Is it because she feels like a woman, or does she feel...
She is a woman.
She is a woman, so she's feeling womanly. It's a song celebrating Shania's femininity.
Well, if you listen to the lyrics, she says that she's wearing shirts and she's doing all the man thing, but she even rocks it as a woman then. That song takes me back to my childhood.
Does it?
Yeah.
Did you used to sing to Shania? She must be really quite old, Shania, mustn't she? Because I remember someone saying to me once, quite a long time ago, she's very old, but now she must be...
Now she actually must be old.
She must never get asked for ID anyway.
Oh, absolutely, she won't need ID.
And if you think
if
she got asked for ID, she would probably just get out an album and go, there you go, I am her.
Yeah. Oh, she'd sing That Don't Impress Me, which was her other big hit.
Can you think of a third? If you were doing Ken Bruce's Popmaster and you had to do 3 and 10.
Oh no!
What would you have your third one? I can't think of another one.
I can. No, it's gone. No. There is another track that she did.
You wouldn't have got the little small radio then, would you?
I feel upset. It's something like You've Got Away With Me, but I don't reckon it would cut it because I haven't quite got this.
I can't think. I've never been a big Shania fan. Although I am one of the 6 million people who owns Queen's Greatest Hits. Did you see that they became the first band to sell over 6 million copies of one album in the UK this week?
I thought you'd been announced on something as one of those people.
I bought it a very long time ago.
Okay.
It was quite good. Adele is the only sort of non-dead person in that list at the moment.
Non-dead.
She's done quite well. She's sold nearly 5 million copies of one of her singing song ones. I've never heard of it.
I feel like Adele's one of those people who I feel like I know her, and she's like a mate that I'm really chuffed for that she's doing well.
Aww.
Is that a bit strange? Adele, well
You'll
done.
do well when you're rich and famous, won't you, Holly? You can be pals to everyone even though you've never met them. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Mucker. I don't do naughty finger gestures because my fingers are so small that it would just look pathetic. So when I do that, it just doesn't look offensive at all.
You do have freakishly small fingers.
Yes, I do. So if anything,
pointed out time and time again.
They do.
Holly,
they do
have freakishly small fingers. It's amazing you can drive that desk, really. Get your hand round the steering wheel on your moped.
See, now you've noticed it, you're going to be just horrified.
I know. It's one of those things that'll stick in your mind and you will remember forevermore.
Absolutely.
Every week I'll come in and just look at those fingers and go, oh my goodness me. There you go. I'm sure they're very fine fingers and very good at strumming a guitar with your guitar lessons.
Yes.
Have you played your guitar on the radio yet? Though?
No, I've not done your great feat of because I'm very busy.
How long have you been guitared for?
I started playing guitar when I was about 10.
Right, so you should be good by now.
So I should be good by now, but I didn't really practice that back then. So now
you've got all this airtime to film 5 nights a week. Well, I'm sure everyone who's listening would love to hear you strum. You can maybe sing some bits in between as well. It'd be fantastic.
That's probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
Unless you care to do a duet with me, then. Although I'll
tell you something. Since I played my ukulele on the radio, I haven't actually got out the cupboard. I think peaked in my musical career very, very early and haven't quite gone back to it yet. So maybe in the summer.
Okay, we'll do a little duet accompaniment, me with my guitar and you with your ukulele.
Singing.
It'll look quite strange though, because me with my little hands on a normal sized guitar and you being
with
quite a large man with tiny little ukulele.
Luckily it's on the radio, so people would look at it and go, what's all that about? It'd be weird, wouldn't it?
I do love Nina Simone.
You got her name wrong, I got the song name wrong. I think
between us, we've covered it.
Really messed that up completely and utterly, didn't we?
Oh, poor Nina. We do apologise.
Sorry. Is she still alive?
I don't think so, actually.
Oh, sure.
Mortified. Okay, we're going to be right back with some very good news stories and a track chosen by you again.
I know. Straight after the adverts.
Yeah, wonderful. Ooh. There they go. There she goes. There they go. The Lars.
The Lars or the Lass?
The Lass. The Lars.
See, we could get all names wrong of all songs.
Yeah.
To give you the way forward.
Let's try.
It does show what an eclectic mix of music we have. We have gone from Nina Simone to the Lars in one advert.
They were both your song choices. I was quite impressed with the variety that you've brought to the show tonight.
I just thought of that just off the top of my head. Because we wanted to hear the sound of our own voices that little bit longer, so I picked a relatively short song, and that is the shortest song I could think of. I'm sure there must be shorter songs out there, surely, but I don't know.
And the Drifters there with one of their many songs about
cinemas. That you have to click your fingers to the Drifters, don't you?
You do.
Out of tune.
You do look quite kind of immobile when you're doing that.
It is one of those songs, a finger-clicking song. You don't hear that from the pop music.
From the popular,
day, do you?
Popular music of the day.
Popular music. There we go. Anyway, story time. We're going to have to do this really quickly. Are we going to talk right up to the news?
We'll have a go, yeah.
Shall we have a go? This is a fantastic story, and it sums up everything there is to be summed up about modern art, really. In Italy, there was a cleaner who accidentally threw some modern art in the bin. And what's amazing is if you read this story, and this lady said she was just doing her job when she thought that some of the bits of rubbish were left behind were actually for a show that was opening in Italy that day, and it turned out that some of the artwork was kind of like crumbly bits of biscuit left on the floor. And to be honest, if you saw crumbly bits of biscuit left on the floor, you would surely tidy it up, even if you weren't a professional cleaner. I mean, imagine if you were in charge of the cleaner and you'd hired the cleaner to come in and clean up your art gallery, and you looked at it and you said, "You've left bits of biscuit all over the floor," and she'd go, "I'm sorry, but I thought it was art." And you read on for the story, and it gets better and better because it's not the first time rubbish has been thrown away. In 2001, Damien Hirst, the man who chops cows in half and stuff like that, his display, which consisted of an ashtray, some dirty coffee cups, empty beer bottles and crumpled newspapers, was thrown away by cleaners at a London art gallery. Of course it was thrown away by cleaners, because it was rubbish. And it was actually literally rubbish, wasn't it? I mean, throw it away. And then we've got Tracy Emin, and this one's my favourite, Tracy Emin back in 1999, and she had her bed one, didn't she?
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Some kind of conceptual art, and it followed on from her tent one when she had the names of all her lovers on the side of the tent and stuff like that. Well, the bed was in a museum, and the cleaner thought it had been vandalised, so she made the bed. How good is that? That is cleaners doing their jobs properly. And it's just, I love art, and I don't love art. I love the whole modern art thing, and looking at things and going, really? How does that count? And I'm sure you could probably set yourself up as an artist and become a famous artist just by doing nonsense. I mean, in here we've got empty coffee cup with caramel wafer in, and that should sell for millions, really.
That says, busy DJ.
Busy DJ
eats a biscuit.
It's a reflection on life, isn't it? the fast-paced nature of life and how you cope with it.
What I quite liked, I just kind of glanced over at the news story as you were reading it, and when I read stuff, words just shoot out, and I just assume what it says. And I thought it said that the cleaner had vandalised the bed by making it. I just thought, that's a funny...
Technically, she has vandalised the art, hasn't she, by making it. But I'd love the fact of all these highbrow people coming into the museum the next day, and Damien Hirst's leftover party nonsense has been tidied up and the bed's been made and them going,
I mean, surely they're an artist, they can improvise, they can just go, as you can see, this was my idea of the art to be cleaned away. That's the concept.
Yeah, this is madness.
Blag it.
Have we got time to do this one quickly? We've got a minute.
You've got a minute left.
There was a woman, and this was one of the weird stories I read the other day, we didn't talk about it, and she's kind of, Jackson Pollock, who did the kind of splatty, painty things. Well, she's trying to become the new Jackson Pollock, and what she's doing is she's drinking water-based paints and then making herself sick and sicking up onto the canvas.
I've heard about this.
The paint, and
dreadful. I like the fact you've left us on that note, Daniel.
I'm sorry.
I like that bit.
Oh, blimey.
I just realised.
Proper DJ singing over the end of a song there.
I just realised that because the monitors would go down when you put the speakers up, you wouldn't have heard me singing along with the track.
No.
You just heard me go in a silent room. No. I like.
I know, that's kind of a bit weird, I have to say. That was my golden oldie, by the way.
It was, yeah. Do you want to,
that was
pre-introduce it?
London's Calling by The Clash. And it's probably not very golden oldie-esque, because it was 1979, that.
Was it?
But it's quite old, isn't it?
That's old enough for a golden oldie.
Old enough. It's older than you, is it? Yes. Maybe that should be the defining measure of whether it's a golden oldie. If it's older than you, Holly.
So you can have anything before 1988.
1988.
You look disgusting.
That's like everything ever decent that was ever written. Apologies to anybody who's written anything after 1988, but to be honest, you kind of were a bit too late, really, weren't they?
I played a track. I try and play more old school tracks at the beginning and then more upbeat stuff in my second hour.
Right.
And I played a track thinking it was like an oldish track.
Right.
And then when I typed up, it was from 2000, which does seem a long time away.
Yeah.
But that's not really an old track.
Because do you remember Pulp's Let's All Meet Up in the Year 2000?
Pulp.
Yeah. Did you ever dance to that before the year 2000?
Well, I'd have been about 11, so I don't know if I'd have been in that kind of...
See, I remember dancing to Let's All Meet Up in the Year 2000 thinking, wow, that's a long way away.
That's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. And now it's kind of in the mists of time, isn't it? It was a long time ago. So there we go. Anyway, we had London's Calling because I'm going to London tomorrow. By train, which links nicely to our first ridiculous story of the week, which is local, because we don't normally have local stories. It's normally about stupid American people doing stupid things. But this is about rail chaos following an incident at Keighley, where basically on Monday morning, and my commute was wrecked by this as well. I had to go and sit at home and drink tea and pretend to work until all the trains sorted out. Basically, the trains came crashing to a stop, because somebody had thrown a duvet cover over one of the power lines outside Keighley Station.
Why do people do things like this? It's like blocking toilets.
But it was quite a windy day.
Okay.
And I was thinking, had they done it with the intention of vandalising things, or had they just done it to air their duvet?
Like a giant washing line.
Like, up there, that'll do. Valentine's Day. Next week. Have you got plans, or does your boyfriend plan Valentine's Day for you? Or do you not do it because you're too hip and trendy? We have done it the past 2 years, but actually, because we're going to Vietnam, I've thought we'd better just save our money. It sounds quite boring, but I don't really want anything, and also it means I don't have to buy him anything either. Do you have to buy gifts for Valentine's Day?
Do you know what I got him for our first Valentine's? I got him a cheese slicer. And
one of the handheld See, those I used to think were really good until you get one and they're a bit rubbish.
Well, no, the Swedish ones, I don't want me to drop names or anything, but the IKEA ones, other cheese slicers are available, are very, very good. Although they don't stock them anymore, so the ones we've got, my grandma's got one and we've got one, and they're the only two left in the world.
I actually took mine away recently because it had been in my cupboard for a very long time and not been used, but there we go. But this story, this has gone on to ridiculous cheese slicing conversation. My issue was that it used to rub away the middle of the cheese and you'd get left with 2 big chunks at the end, but there we go. This is ideal for you and your cheapy Valentine's Day. It's basically, if you think of Valentine's Day is all about roses and expensive restaurants, and here we have one well-known chain of burger restaurants that begins with Mac and finishes with Donald's, which is doing a Valentine's dinner for 2.
Candlelit
Valentine's dinner for 2. And on Friday, the 14th of February, so they've got the right date, between 6 and 8 p.m. at this restaurant. I think it's in America, sadly. You will be able to go in and enjoy a candlelit meal for 2 at the McDonald's restaurant. You'll be greeted at the door by a member of staff. There's a time limit.
You've got to get there between 6 and 8.
6 and 8.
I quite like the little blurb. Our crew will greet you at the door, seat you, take your order and deliver it to you. All you have to do is just sit back, relax and enjoy your romantic evening with your date, featuring musical selections from Ron. Is that the clown?
That must be the short version. He must be the trendy clown of that restaurant. But I quite like that because we've always kind of done unusual Valentine Day do's on the basis it's like going to a restaurant on Valentine's Day can be quite expensive. So we've gone 10-pin bowling on Valentine's Day, and there's been balloons on our aisle. It's not an aisle, lane, and we've done bingo on Valentine's Day. Right. Bingo on Valentine's Day is fantastic, by the way.
Whose suggestions are these?
We take it in turns.
Okay.
So I think if that McDonald's that burger restaurant was nearby, or any burger restaurants in the Keighley area were listening and wanted to do that, then I might well take Mrs. Kennedy to one of those places next Friday. Okay. Lunchtime.
Lucky lady.
Evening. She is. She has a husband who has a sweeper. And he'll take her to a burger restaurant.
Can I ask, when you're taking it in turns and you're quite quirky options, have you ever said one and she's just gone, no?
No, because it's a surprise.
Ah, so you can't back out of it then.
Yeah. I did once take her to another chain of restaurants which are named after small cooks. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because on her birthday, we went somewhere after that.
I was going to say, were you driving somewhere?
No, we went somewhere afterwards.
Yeah.
But we went there because she liked the pancakes.
Ah, they're closing down, aren't they? That chain
That chain of small cooks. So there's an opening in the market for someone who makes good pancakes, to be honest.
It is, absolutely. So that is
Valentine's
a gap in the
Day
market.
all wrapped up. So if anyone wants any ideas, then do tweet me at MyNewtComedy and I'll give you suggestions galore.
Although, if the song choice that you've chosen is anything to go by, I think we can think of a better venue than in an elevator.
Well, it's a good love song, isn't it? And we are a week early with this. Next week we're going to have to do another Valentine's story, aren't we?
I'm sure there'll be plenty of them.
Hopefully, yes.
Would you like to introduce it?
This is Love in an Elevator by a band whose name I can't remember. Aerosmith.
I thought you
Is it Aerosmith?
It is Aerosmith.
By Aerosmith. Take it away.
I thought you looked worried when I asked you.